When a narcissist waits for you to break the silence, don't fall for it. Hi everyone, and all those who live in truth. Understand this. Of course they expect you to reach out. Of course the narcissist assumes you'll come back. In their minds, the love you gave wasn't a sign of strength. They twisted it into a sign of weakness. They convinced themselves they trained you into a state of constant servitude, that you would never truly move on from them. Whether they walked away or you were the one who cut ties, their initial belief is the same. They assume you'll eventually return. This is why they slip into what's known as the reverse Hoover, a waiting game designed to make you be the one who makes the first move. They imagine you'll chase them, reach out, and try to repair the connection, so they sit back and wait. But then time passes, and you don't. That's why, for those of you in no contact, I urge you not to count the days. In the beginning, it's natural to track every moment apart, almost instinctively remembering exactly how long it's been. But counting the days becomes a trap, a cycle that keeps your mind tethered to them. Instead, shift into the mindset that this isn't a temporary challenge, but a lifestyle choice. You've chosen your own path now, and that path no longer runs alongside theirs. Don't fall for the illusion that they don't care. Even when they pretend indifference, there's a part of them, warped though it may be, that wonders if you'll reach out. They may not feel genuine care in the way healthy people do, but they care about one thing: your attention. The question haunts them: will you chase them? Will you beg? Will you play into their hands again? That thought alone keeps them on edge. And while you may feel the sting of silence, they're not immune to it either. When your voice and energy are gone from their lives, a void begins to form. Yes, they might distract themselves with new supply or fresh conquests, but you are no longer feeding them, and that absence weakens them. They begin to fade without your pursuit. Whether it was a romantic bond, a friendship, or a family connection, they assumed you were locked into their control, bound to their way of thinking. But when you refuse to follow the script, something shifts. They are forced to confront the truth that your devotion wasn't born out of their manipulation, gaslighting, or deceit. It was a reflection of your own character, your own willingness to give. And when you take that gift back, they lose a power they never truly understood. They've never truly let you out of their sight. Not really. Even when the miles stretch between you, even when the years pile up and life appears to have moved on, they've kept a quiet ledger in the shadows. They take mental notes of who you are becoming, registering each transformation, every shift in the way you carry yourself, every subtle change in the way you speak, dress, or dream. It is a silent watch that can last not only for months but for years, sometimes even decades, until one day, without warning, they resurface. And when that moment arrives, there is no mistaking it. It might be a friend request from a name that means nothing to you on the surface, but somehow feels loaded with familiarity. It could be a strange phone call with only silence on the other end, as though someone just wanted to hear your voice without revealing theirs. Sometimes it's even more unsettling, an oddly specific sign, something only they would know, an echo from the past that seems too targeted to be coincidence. In that instant, you realize the truth. They never really let go. Their disappearing act isn't absence. It's a move straight out of their playbook. It's not a retreat to heal or forget. It's what I call a reverse Hoover. Instead of pulling you in directly, they retreat just far enough for you to feel the urge to close the gap. They want you to reach out first, to re-establish the line of contact so they can re-enter your life without taking the blame for breaking the silence. You have to understand, narcissists do not operate by the logic of healthy relationships. Their silences are never empty spaces. They are charged with intent. Every pause is deliberate. Every absence is a chess move. I've witnessed it more times than I can count. I've had clients who, after decades of no contact, 30 years, in one case, suddenly received a message, a letter, or a random sighting that pulled them right back into the emotional memory of that person. This is the depth of the imprint that a genuine, authentic soul leaves on someone who lives in emotional hunger. And you, whether you realize it or not, carry your own artifact from the past. The scars that never fully fade. The wisdom that came at a price. These are not weaknesses, they are your compass. They point you away from the very storms you once survived, reminding you of the lies that cut deep, the betrayals that hollowed you out, and the chaos you vowed never to enter again. They keep you steady, grounded, aware. For them, however, their compass is you. You are their reference point, the fixed star they measure themselves against. They chase fragments of what you represent. Your light, your resilience, your sense of self. Yet every time they think they've grasped it, they are left unsatisfied. That emptiness inside them is a hunger that no amount of attention, admiration, or control can ever truly fill. They drink deeply from every interaction, but their cup is cracked. No matter how much they pour into it, it's never enough. It's a strange symmetry, 2 points along the same human spectrum, but heading in opposite directions. One bathed in light, one cloaked in shadow. Both of you know joy, both know pain, both have faced loss. But where your path has been one of healing, of growth, of moving forward, this has been a looping orbit. They circle back to the same wounds, the same patterns, and ultimately, back to you. So, when they vanish, understand that they are not truly gone. Their silence is not the end. It's the space between plays in a game they've been perfecting their entire lives. Beneath it all, they are still there, somewhere in the shadows, keeping watch, waiting. Narcissists often operate under a very calculated assumption. If you're fresh out of the relationship, they expect you to crack first. They are convinced you'll be the one to make the move, to reach out, to chase. And this is exactly when their baiting tactics kick into high gear. They'll start doing little things, sometimes subtle, sometimes overt, to provoke you. If they left behind a trail of chaos, emotional wreckage, or unresolved drama in your life, they will try to exploit that as a way to pull you back into their web. Their primary goal? To drag the absolute worst out of you. That's it. They want you to snap, to react, to lose your composure. And then they sit back and say, "See, look what you've become." Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about because you've been pushed to cross lines you never thought you'd cross, to say or do things you aren't proud of. And then you watch videos like this and feel triggered, wondering if I'm labeling you as the problem. I'm not. I'm fully aware of the concept of reactive abuse, something I've covered in my earlier videos, and something I think deserves even more attention now. Reactive abuse happens when the abuser pushes and provokes until you lash out, and then they use your reaction as proof that you're unstable or toxic. It's one of their most insidious tactics, and many people, especially those who haven't found resources, therapy, or communities like this, end up trapped in a downward spiral because of it. I've spoken to people who lost so much as a result. Some ended up in psychiatric wards, others faced serious consequences that altered the course of their lives. And while I don't excuse destructive actions, I understand the hell they were put through to get there. Over the years, I've heard countless stories in my sessions, especially from women, about the toll narcissistic abuse has taken on their physical health, stress-related illnesses, exhaustion, even chronic conditions that developed as a direct result of prolonged exposure to this emotional warfare. This is the unseen cost of dealing with a narcissist, and it's why your silence now is not just a boundary, it's a shield. That silence they are trying to break, it's a game to them, a trap disguised as reconciliation. They are counting on you to give in. But I'm telling you right now, don't. This is the moment to hold steady, to remember why you left, to refuse the bait no matter how tempting or guilt-inducing it might be. You don't need to contact them. Not now, not later. Stay the course. You're protecting far more than just your peace. You're protecting your sanity, your health, and your future. Sometimes, what you need most is a reminder to keep going, to stay firm in your no-contact journey, even on the days when the temptation creeps in. I'm thinking of doing more content like this, because I know how easy it is to second-guess yourself. When you're in that quiet space, away from the chaos, you might start wondering if you should reach out. But here's the truth. There's nothing left to say to them. Absolutely nothing. And if you do break that silence, chances are they'll throw something at you that you never saw coming. Something that not only catches you off guard, but makes everything heavier, messier, and far more painful than before. This is why silence is not just the absence of words. It's the most powerful statement you could ever make. For a narcissist, your silence speaks volumes. It cuts through their games louder than any argument, confrontation, or explanation you could give. Every single day you hold that silence, you're sending a message they cannot ignore. Even if you share children and have to communicate for practical reasons, the space you maintain, the days you don't engage, the moments you don't give them, becomes a fortress that protects you. That space has more impact than any clever words you might be tempted to craft, because silence doesn't invite a reaction. Silence is final. It's control in your hands. So do not retaliate, no matter what bait they dangle in front of you. Every time you resist, you're proving to yourself that you're no longer a participant in their toxic cycle. This is your quiet rebellion, your refusal to hand them the energy they're starving for. Your silence is not weakness, it's strength in its purest form. Hold it, guard it, and let it speak for you. They'll hear it, believe me, and it will say everything they need to know. I want to thank you sincerely for taking the time to listen today. Your presence and support mean more than words can convey. I'll be back soon with another video to walk this journey alongside you. Have a nice day, everyone.